Come on in, everybody. I'm trying to get my music going. It's got a little bit of charge on it, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. So come on in. Let's see what we can find. Music? No, that's not what I want. Playlist. And I gotta go to country music. No. Country music. It's gonna take a second, y'all, so please be with me. Demos. I'm looking for demos. There we go. No. Well, that's something.
Well, my sink is shining, but I'm not whining that
Okay. Come on. Go to where I want to go. There we go. Slow and steady. There. Some method to my madness.
All day I rush around, but I'm still on the ground, on the ground. I'll soon be fluttering if I can find my wings.
Sipping in South Mississippi. Get on in here.
Impatiently, I want to fly today, but I hear a gentle voice inside me say that slow and steady steps will be my pace. Slow and steady steps will win this race. It will take some time.
Something
but the
bit me.
victory will be mine. Slow and steady, I'm gonna learn to fly. I'm starting to believe I only race with me, only me. I can't give to someone else this journey for myself. It's for myself. Since my best is all.
Okay. Sometimes I've been looking everywhere for the Roomba, and I know I can hit a button and find it. It's right under me. It's right under me. It got stuck on my bar stool. Anyway, so I got a tip for you, and I want you to pick this up at the grocery store next time you're there. Put it on your grocery list right now because it's that season. Get a bottle in the spice section of Adolph's meat tenderizer. Order it on Amazon. Get it any way you can. Adolph's meat tenderizer. And if you get a bite, I got a bite on my hand. I don't know what it is. It's red. I don't feel a spot, but something bit me. Something bit me right there. And as soon as I get off here, I'm going to do this. You pour some in a little bowl, and it does have to be a teaspoon of it. That's it, just a teaspoon of it. Put a few drops of water in it till you can get the consistency of a paste. And then you take a paper towel and wrap it, or a piece of gauze, or whatever you've got. Wrap it in a paper towel and hold it on there for 30 minutes. It works for insect bites. It works for spider bites. It works for wasp stings, bee stings. You just be blown away. All you'll see is the little spot where it's starting to web up where something bit me. I ain't even been outside today. So Adolph's meat tenderizer. I learned this many, many, many years ago. Justin was a baby, and he got out in the garden with Granddaddy Ellie. He got bit by a bunch of mosquitoes, and he didn't do well with these mosquito bites. And Justin's pediatrician, Dina and I were talking about him the other day, Dr. Hill. Dr. Hill said, use Adolph's meat tenderizer on it. And it worked. It took the little the enzyme that tenderizes the meat eats the poison. And I remember I told the lady at the grocery store, Jones's Grocery, sometimes Darlene is in here. In fact, she has a twin sister named Marlene. And I told Darlene's mother-in-law many years ago, she hadn't married her husband at the time, but I told Mrs. Jones, and we had the same birthday, she and I had the same birthday, about the Adolph's meat tenderizer. She had been bitten by a spider and it wasn't healing. And she packed that wound in Adolph's meat tenderizer and it healed, y'all. It healed. She had to keep it wet and damp for about 24 hours, but it healed. You can put the paper towel around it, then wrap it in saran wrap and keep it moist. You'll be blown away. Now, don't go to sleep in it or you'll get little sandy crystals in the bed and it'll drive you nuts. It's amazing stuff. It really is. It's in my medicine cabinet. It's in my emergency kit. I take it with me everywhere if I'm traveling because you never know when you need it. But I was going to tell you about, this morning I was talking about what our children are learning from us. And teach your children about cleaning out the couch and finding money in the couch. It's so much fun. And get them interested in prospecting, kind of like with walking around the outside of the house. If you want to invest in a metal detector, we have one downstairs. Robert uses it when he loses something. But finding coins, finding treasure. You could even sort of salt the treasure fields if you can find a metal detector that they can utilize. Now, I wouldn't use it often, but it's fun. It's a fun way to get people involved in doing something that's out of the ordinary. If you go to the beach, metal detecting at the beach can be a lot of fun. Now, this spoon that I have right here, I think Robert found it at the beach, not with a metal detector, but with his eyes or his feet or something. He doesn't like to go barefoot, but he found this spoon there, and I've tried to find out. It says 1915 on it, but it is a beautiful spoon. It's hammered, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful spoon. And I use it for my teaspoon because it's just an odd spoon that he found, and it's sterling silver. It is sterling silver. So treasure hunting is fun, and especially if you've got some old houses in your family, take the metal detector out there and look for stuff. You'll find money and all kinds of things. At courthouses, if you get permission to search on courthouse property, you can find some really old pennies. And I know Quentin, Tammy's son, her fifth child, he loved finding old pennies and old nickels. In fact, Robert gave him some of them. And it is just, a jar full of coins can be amazing. I follow this one kid on Facebook, no, on YouTube, and I think can't remember his name, DJ and Company, I think. And he goes everywhere with his metal detector looking for stuff. And sometimes he'll just take some money to the bank and buy rolls of $50, and he'll open them up and he'll find some silver $50. So it's a fun way to do things. Just something different. Just something different. But many years ago, we used to take our pocket change and put it in a jar. If I cleaned out my purse and it was full of change in the bottom of my purse, I would dump all that in a jar. And then when I moved to North Carolina with my second husband, which Robert doesn't even say he was my second husband, because we were only married for about 8 months. And he showed who he was to me. God has a way of protecting me, but he showed me who he was. And we had our first argument. And you know what? He packed up and left, and I never saw him again. What a blessing that was. He packed up his stuff and left. Praise the Lord. And then a year and 4 or 5 months later, I met Robert. But back to the jar of money. He was not a very productive person. And I was working at Earthshine Mountain Lodge, and I had worked at Kmart some. I worked in the electronics department because I'm geeky. And when we would clean out our purse or our pockets, we would put money in a jar. It was a quart jar. And one year it was 1994, maybe 95. 94. It was 1994. We didn't have a lot of money. We didn't have a whole lot of money, but I had that jar of pocket change. And it was $24.82. I counted it all out, $24.82. And this was before those shows were popular. We didn't have cable TV or anything like that. And I made a grocery list. I made a pantry list of everything I had. I made a menu for Thanksgiving. It was Christmas dinner is what it was. I made a menu, and I bought chicken thighs. I had cornmeal, so I made some cornbread to make some dressing. I think I made some chicken broth from the chicken thighs, and then put the chicken meat in the dressing. Let's see, what else did I do? Sweet potatoes. I got 3 or 4 sweet potatoes and made a sweet potato casserole. And it was a lovely dinner. It was a lovely dinner. Not that he appreciated it or anything, but I had done my part. And less than 6 months later, he was gone. And I was so thankful. You can be thankful for the doors that are closed. Many times you can. And that was quite the blessing. I had to be married longer to him in North Carolina. It takes a year of separation before you can get a divorce. So I had to stay longer to him married in separation than I did in actually being married. But you can do a lot with a jar of change. And getting in the habit of that change, Robert still does it today. He puts change he looks at his pocket change every day when he comes in after he's been out running errands. He looks at his pocket change and he looks for old money. He looks for old money. And that's a whole nother story. But that pocket change, he remembered his whole life he has collected pennies in those little blue books. And there was one penny, a 1957, minted in San Francisco, that as a child he never found in his pocket change. He never found it in his pocket change. And he ended up paying 50 cents for that penny from somebody who had one. And he always felt like he was cheating. He always felt like he was cheating. And then one day, there it was. And he took it as a sign. And at the same time, he had another little premonition in he gets premonitions in music. And this was from I don't even know what it's from, but it's from a musical. And it's Someone to Watch Over Me. He had that song playing in his head. And he took that 1957 penny in his hand and that song as a sign that God was going to send someone to watch over him. Yeah. And we met in August. About the third week in August. I think it was like August the 22nd. And we had our first date about a few days later. We met at the coffee shop. And then we went to dinner and had the worst spinach lentil soup I've ever put in my mouth. We put enough hot sauce in it to kill us. And the rest is history. By Halloween we were engaged, and by Thanksgiving we were married. And we've been married 24 years. You know, when you get to be in your 40s, you don't waste much time. You just don't waste much time. But that's another story too. But we have been, it's been quite the ride. It has been. Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun. Have some fun, y'all. Get out there and have some fun. Start saving your change in a jar and let your children see that change. Let them see what's in there. Let them count it. Let them have fun with it. And when the jar gets full, now that's the Christmas jar story. People would wrap a jar full of pocket change and just give it to somebody. Just give it to somebody. Put a bow on it and leave it at somebody's door. And you just don't know how you can bless someone. Read the Christmas jar story. It's a beautiful story. God is good. And when you continually give, you will continually have. So bless others with your abundance. Take something that has a bad vibe to it and turn it into something good to bless someone else. You can do it. I mean, I watch these little shows on YouTube of people building out buses and campers and horse trailers and all kinds of stuff. And they like to find recycled stuff. Somebody else doing a build and they don't want the chairs that's in their bus, or somebody throws away a bed frame that's perfectly good and they incorporate that. You just got to be a scavenger, and it's fun to be a scavenger. We like to go to yard sales and do things. Watch some furniture flippers. If you need to make some extra money this summer, get your kids involved in doing some furniture flipping. I've been trying to show my granddaughter about this furniture flipping. She's got a good eye for things like this. And the furniture flipping teacher quit her day job. She finished out the school year, but she's not going back to teaching. She can make more money flipping furniture. And she always has the teaching as a background. As her, she can go back to it. So folks, find something fun to do. Get out in the world with your metal detector and see exactly, treasure hunting. Get you out of the house. I might go put on the headphones and get outside with the metal detector. How cool would that be? Because we live on a piece of land that used to have, I think, a house on it once, long time ago. So folks, I love you. Be good, kind, and sweet. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. And let's just have some family fun. Let's have some family fun. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day in the neighborhood. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for catching me live. But if you didn't catch me live, that's okay. I rarely watch many of my people I follow live because they upload videos. My sister likes it when I say, be good, kind, and sweet. But they're not all the same thing, are they? Be good to yourself, be kind to others, and let your sweetness overflow. My cup runneth over with surely goodness and mercy all the days of my life. That's the way it should be. Read the 23rd Psalm. Thanks for being here. See you tomorrow.